Ball exercises. To set up for the ball exercises, you will need a yoga or exercise ball. For safety purposes, it's best to find one that's burst resistant and slip resistant for support. To find the right size ball for you, when you sit on the ball, feet are flat on the ground, hips are level with your knees. It will make a 90-degree angle, or your hips are slightly higher. If your hips are lower than your knees, you need to size up. Things to look for while sitting on the ball. Sitting upright on your sits bones. It's the bones that you sit on. Imagine that your belly button has a flashlight beam pointed out towards the horizon in front of you. If you're sitting on your tailbone and not your sits bones, the flashlight beam would point up towards the sky, which closes your pelvis. When sitting correctly, the beam is pointing straight out in front or slightly lower. Hip circles. Sit on the ball with feet flat on the ground, hip distance apart. You're going to do 10 circles to the right and then 10 to the left. The movement is slow and gentle. Remember to sit up on your sits bones and not tuck or sit on your tailbone. Pelvic rocking. Sit on the ball with feet hip distance apart. You're going to rock your hips forward and backwards or side to side. This exercise is a great way to open up the bones that you sit on. Let's look at this from the side. You can see that her hips are moving underneath her and then extending. What we don't want you to do is sit on your tailbone and rock forwards and backwards. This closes your pelvis. Figure 8. Sit on the ball with feet hip distance apart. You're going to make big figure 8s with your hips. You really want to exaggerate the hip movements from side to side. You will do 10 of these to the right and then 10 to the left. Let's look at this exercise from the side. Sitting on the sits bones, exaggerate hip movements right and then to the left. Pelvic unleveling. This movement is done by moving your hips from side to side. Place your hands on your hips. Sitting on your sits bones, move your hips from side to side. It's as if you have a string attached to the bottom part of your rib cage to the top part of your hip. You're contracting and lengthening. Sitting on the ball and doing these activities are some of the best ways to help prepare for labor by strengthening the lower back, supporting the pelvis, balancing the ligaments and muscles, and aids in overall comfort. If at any time these movements cause pain, discontinue and consult your care provider.